Traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you guys are tuning in, hit that thumbs up button. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Guys, another excellent day here in the markets. We are finishing the day up over $900. So very fantastic day here today. We're going to talk about how we got it done in just a sec. Before we continue forward, I want to remind you guys that coupon code Vegas is expiring soon. For those of you who are looking to become a student, who are looking to join the classes, coupon code Vegas is expiring September 30th. This is one of our biggest sales yet. And of course, if you are a gold member, if you buy down here, if you buy and you become a gold member, you will be entered into this raffle for a chance to win an all expense paid trip to Las Vegas this upcoming November with Marcelo, myself, and the team. We will be hanging out and we will be joining this conference called Traders for a Cause, right? A huge seminar that's going down in Vegas. It's going to be fun. So be sure, if you have not already and you want to join the classes, coupon code Vegas. For everybody else who just want to be a part of the community, you guys can check out the chat room, which we'll talk a little bit later, a little bit more about later in the video. For now, let's jump into today's recap. Guys, believe it or not, I believe I was up actually 16 or 1700. So the theme is continuing with me giving back profits, which is actually quite similar to what was happening last year around this time. And it's part of what the market is, volatility and risk. So at the end of the day, I'm very grateful. I'm not upset. And I am grateful, content for what I have here today, right? In stock SLNO, STSS, and a few others, IMVT. So before we jump into it, another quick reminder that our disclaimer is still live and well. Remember, guys, that trading is risky like any other business here in the United States of America. Remember that trading is risky, all right? Other than that, remember to approach the market in a slow and safe way. You guys can utilize paper trading, aka the simulator. You can utilize risk money. That way your exposure is limited as you learn, grow, build experience, and become competent. Do not come into the market guns blazing with big share size, big money. It's high chance you lose it all. Because like any other profession, career, job, business out there, it takes time to grow, learn, and develop, all right? So keep that in mind. Remember that me live streaming and doing recaps is not an invitation to copy trade. And lastly, remember, I do not invest money for my subscribers. So that being said, let's jump into today's recap video. And we're going to talk about this expensive stock here, IMVT, a $30 stock. A $30 stock, ladies and gentlemen. So sometimes, these stocks will come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, right? In a sense of price range. And other times, it'll be the spread. Other times, it'll just be the momentum, the volatility. Some are more aggressive than others. Some, or maybe will start off red and then go green. And so we have to be prepared for any and all kinds of momentum. And that's what this was today. Stock at $30 ended up being the stock of the day. And so I was watching this one here as we were coming into the open, and you guys can see what a huge range. So around 6 a.m. this morning, this thing started to move up. Yesterday we were just at $19, pushed all the way around 6 a.m. to 24, and then all the way to 35, pulled back, huge range, about 26. And so I'm like, okay, I'm watching it here. I didn't want to see it continue to go in this, range between 35 to 26. I'm like, this is just too big, right? This is just too much. This is just too much, this entire range. So what I did do, I put a trend line for the most recent levels that we were holding as we were coming into the open. So this area here, of course, as you guys know, is pre-market, right? This is before 9:30, before the official open. You can still trade in this time, but liquidity, aka volume, is less. There's less people, less money, stuff like that. So you can see here the volume bars are pretty low. This is the indication as to how many shares are being bought and sold versus the open. When I start to trade, there's a ton more people watching stocks going forward, right? So pre-market, not a ton going on, but I'm watching it here and I'm watching this range and I'm like, you know what? Can we right here break to the upside? And so that's what I was watching for. It came in to the open, we held up nicely at the lows, and this thing started curling. And so, my first entry essentially came as we were pushing up over these levels right here. I was getting in as early as 32.50, 33, and so forth. And it continued. We ended up getting the next candle into 31, 9:31 a.m., which made the new high over 33, and that pushed all the way to 34.98. What an incredible move. And guys, I got up to about 15, 1600 with just about 500 shares, 1,000 shares. I didn't even go aggressive here. I could have went up to 2,500 shares and potentially had made 5,000 today, but I just was not that aggressive. I should have been. This was the stock to do it. It was holding up well. Next time we'll go a little bit more heavy. But anyhows, it pulls back right here. We get to a high, as mentioned, of 34.98. It comes down to a low of 34.28, and then it rips up. And then again, it pulls back again, right? It rips up to 35.25, pulls back again to 34.73, and then look at this move, all the way to 36.48 right here. Big move, man. It comes down. I love right here that it ended up holding up. So the first 1 minute candles to hold ended up making a new low, and I got stopped out right here. So I bought thinking it was going to go up, but it didn't make the new high. We came all the way back down, and so I got back in again. And this is what I like to talk about for the 5 minute patterns that I look for here. Let's try and zoom this in a little bit. So we ended up coming down lower, and we made that low of 34.33. So I got back in, re-averaged, and this thing ended up curling up nicely, man. This was a beautiful move here in itself. Absolutely lovely. And, it ended up pushing all the way back and making even new highs to 37.26. So at this point, I believe I'm up around 1600. And I tried the same trade again for the 1 minute pullback here. Ended up losing and was not aggressive enough to take the low again, because you can see it ended up holding up the same area here. I should have been back in again for a similar trade, but I was not as confident to buy back down here this time. And you can see it did pop from a low of 34.62 to a high of 35.82, right? And then again, and a pop, and then again, and then another pop, and then even again 4 times. I should have been murdering this stock down there, but instead I eased off, and that's where I left out for the rest of the day. And this thing, ended up just continuing to go. So, we're not going to look at any live trading today, but for those of you again who are interested in the classes, I'll show you guys how it looks from the perspective of a student, right? Because I do have a student account myself, so that I can see what the students are seeing. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look at this, right? If I come all the way down, right? This is my student account. As you go, it'll of course track your progress. Yeah, being that I made the course, I haven't been going through it as a student, of course. But yeah, as you go, it'll track all the chapters you do. And if you guys come all the way down, we zoom out and come all the way down, you can see the course itself is quite extensive. If we come all the way down, you guys will see that today I uploaded the video on how I was able to make $1,100 on this stock. So you can come over here, you can watch the video, just like you can go through any of the other classes. So again, we're not going to look at too much of the archive here, but just to give you guys an idea, you'll be able to see the level 2 that I'm using as well, which is another one of the instruments that I have. And you'll be able to see all the trades, right? Each and every trade that I take, you can rewind, fast forward, go back. So looking back here, I'm seeing that I was up 15, 1600, and the stock is at 36.97. So you can rewind, fast forward, come back as many times as you would like to see how we're taking these trades. And that is the key thing about the stocks that we're looking at, guys. So this is why I'm saying today, it was a little disappointing. I'm up 1,700 on this stock. I'm up 160 on the other one. I'm basically up $2,000 right now. It's just a little disappointing to give back so much, but sometimes it cannot be helped, man. You're buying into areas you love and but you get caught off guard. You get caught off guard. And you guys can check out the curriculum on the website, and just come on in, the beauty of what we're doing here is that it's not just myself. You have another mentor in Marcelo, another mentor and teacher in Marcelo himself, who, I mean, is such a great trader, going over all these examples each and every day, talking about what we look for, what we look at, what we do, and it's all here. And the classes does go from zero to advanced, so you don't have to be afraid, of taking on day trading, because a lot of people out there are a little skeptical about, you know, man, you look at the screen, this stuff looks so complicated, but it's all, from the basics to the advanced. We even talk about candlesticks, right? From the very basics of the candlesticks all the way to the advanced stuff. So this right here, exactly this diagram. So you know exactly what it is that you're everything. When I say we go over everything, we go over everything, right? We go over every single thing in detail. All right, guys. So check it out. Coupon code Vegas. For everybody else, you guys can feel free to check out the Discord, which is where we hang out each and every day, before the live stream, after the live stream, right? Let's see how the community did today, right? Let's scroll all the way up here and let's see how the team did today. Is this yesterday? Okay, that was yesterday. Let's come on down a little bit. Yes, hey, shout out to BMAC. 1,700. All the orange names are students, by the way. We have Crispy Trades. John did pretty well. I mean, let's go, man. I get so hyped up knowing that the students are doing all right. So we have a small loss there. And keep in mind, different people, different share size, different level of experience. Some are now starting the classes. Some are going through the classes already. And so you'll see different number. I mean, look at this from Ken. I mean, just incredible from Ken. 3.4. Shout out to the students. Shout out to the community. I don't know how we're so fortunate to get such a good community. And this was early. I think this is today. Okay, so here we started from today. Shout out to Ken, man. Way to go. Wrong bet. Nicely done. 126 P&L open. P&L on the day, $600. A nice $400 P&L there. So sometimes I'll come check in. How did we do as a community? Lucas small red today, right? So wrong bet adding into those gains. Sweet. Small size, nicely done. I mean, just it's so good to see it. All the orange names are students, guys. This stuff, trading is not easy, but it's also possible. It's not guaranteed, but it's possible. And I just love to see another green day. I just, this stuff makes me feel good, man, to know that the service that we're putting out there is working. Tim, one of the guys who just met up with us in person as we did the last trader team house, 2K on a day. I mean, let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Jessica was big red on Tesla, was past my max loss after the open, getting chopped around, took full size long at VWAP for the squeeze and got back flat. So nice trade, right? A little lucky today, but sometimes that's what trading is. We'll have ups, we'll have downs, but can we keep composure? And that's good to see, right? So really, really good. Spartan, a little bit bigger loss today, using big size. Started using big size today, and we had stock. There's another stock we can look at. SL, I think SLNO. Yeah, SLNO. Jared, not bad. And there's myself right here. I'll give myself a thumbs up too. Danny, nicely done. Mike, nicely done. Parjan, small red today. Small red FMEY. We'll get it back. Johnny, small red. Mr. Man, John. So, you know, overall, not too bad. Went from, and look, it's getting back to green. So, pretty good there. Small green. You know, people will update over the course of the day. Mozo, a little in the red today, but he'll get it back. Is So yeah, he'll get it back. You know, having a tough time this month, but he'll get it back for sure. And yeah, that's about it. So, you know, overall, we have some red P&Ls, but overwhelmingly green. We're overwhelmingly green. Uh, you know, BMAC today doing well. So good stuff overall from the chat, man. I'm proud to be, you know, the owner of such an amazing community. You know, I'm very grateful. For those of you who do want to join in, the Discord is incredibly cheap. There's a lot of people out there charging $50, $80, $300 for a community like this. Nah, not us. If you want the read-only mode, it's just $6.99. $6.99, not $699, which people are charging, which is nuts. And then unlimited access to be an elite member, it's just $14.99 a month, which is a McDonald's Happy Meal. Guys, greatness awaits. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Let's continue to win. Let's continue to be disciplined traders. SLNO, just to quickly look at it. FEMY, I was green 160. Got caught in this big red candle. Bought right here. Stopped out at the bottom. Just got obliterated, man. In, out. Obliterated. And it was looking good coming up too. Anyhow, SLNO. I didn't trade this one, but I heard it was pretty good. And, you know, this thing ended up doing well, going from lows of $5 all the way to 30. Let's check that percentage gain. This was absolutely incredible. About 500%, guys. This is why we trade small caps. Tesla and those stocks are great, especially for long-term investing. But, you know, when it comes to percentage gain in a day, nothing got the small caps beat. You know, what this is essentially saying is if you were able to predict this move, you could have made that amount. But even then, we're not looking at it in that perspective. You know, can I make 10% out of this move? Can I make 5% out of this move? Can I make 20%? You know, and even if you don't look at it like that, and you look at it from the dollar perspective, if you have, you know, 1,000 shares, right, at $5, that's $5,000. And with 1,000 shares, every time the stock goes up or down 1 penny, it's $10. Can you make $100, which would be 10 cents? Can you do that every day? That's the perspective, right? Because if you can do it with even a smaller amount than that, really, if you can prove concept and you do it with 10 shares, you know, you might only be making pennies, but if you can do it with that amount, if you can keep the same emotional discipline, you can do it with more size. And more size equates to more money. More risk as well, but also more money, especially when you're consistent, right? And so, you know, this one just kept going. I mean, you know, a little tricky in the beginning here, but it just ended up breaking out nicely later into the afternoon. I mean, look at this push, man. I was around, but I wasn't watching at this, doing other work. I mean, this is impressive. Really good to see. So we'll be back tomorrow. Can't make this recap awfully long. We've already been going for a while, so I'll shut it down here. But I'll catch you guys. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It's been a Relentless Trader, your favorite YouTuber, and I am signing out.